Yeah, good morning and welcome again to Summit. It's Wednesday and good to be with you on our midweek edition of the program. My name is Jumoke Michaels. Banji, good morning.
Jumoke, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good to be here again today.
Good to be here. It's the midweek edition of the program. My name is Banji Busari and I'm glad to be here.
Yes, in the last 2 days, you know, the polity has become so heated with the dethronement and removal of Alhaji, the former emir of Kano Emirate, Alhaji Muhammadu Sanusi II. So much reactions. And
it's not just dethronement, it's also
banishment. Exactly.
Banishment.
I think it's the banishment aspect that really got people infuriated, you know.
Outraged.
Yeah.
Really, the frosty relationship started about 3 years, 4 years ago. But nobody ever thought it was going to be this serious, leading to dethronement and then banishment. And a lot of people are saying in 2020, that's 21st century,
Exactly.
that banishment has become so anachronistic.
Yeah.
At least even our constitution should not accommodate it. So a lot of questions are being asked.
Yeah.
How right, how legal, how constitutional are the decisions of the governor, that's Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, governor of Kano State. But then events is still unfolding. A lot of people are rising against it. And the prayer is that it does not degenerate into a civil unrest. So,
well, unlike people of Kano State, you know, they are usually so prompt to react to issues. Before you know, they begin to riot, they begin to kill and all that. But within that Kano State, there's been some level of calm, because the outgoing emir himself had to address the people, and you know, he admonished them to keep the peace, to be calm. That whatever is happening to him, he sees it as Allah's will.
Act of God.
Yeah, the act of God. So you know, I'm sure that went a long way to curtail any act of violence, yes.
To calm afraid nerves.
Yeah, in that state. So, well, Kano State is peaceful right now, and we believe that it will continue to be so, because the emir, the former emir, seems to have accepted his fate in good faith.
A new emir.
Yeah, already.
A new emir has
Ado Bayero.
installed Ado Bayero.
Yeah.
So, whereas the former emir is now cooling
his heels
somewhere in the remote
Adama,
village,
Nasarawa.
Yeah. But there are plans to actually relocate him to Lafia, to make the travels, to make the pains a bit less painful, sort of.
All right, well, that's our discussion this morning, because we're going to be looking at all this from the legal angle, because, hey, we're in the 21st century. We're in the technology age. We are in a time when people are so exposed, you know, and coming up with something that is archaic and colonial in this age and time sounds so alien to people. And so we're going to look at it from the backdrop of the Nigerian Constitution, and also legally, and be able to know to paint a good picture of this scenario, so that we'll have a better understanding of it. And we have a legal practitioner who is joining us on the program this morning, and he's going to be throwing a lot of light on this issue. And like we always do on the program, we'd like you to send us an SMS sharing with us your thoughts on this matter. When the time is right, we'll display the number on the screen, and then you send us an SMS. We'll go on a quick break now. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for still being there. The program is still Summit. And joining us for the discussion this morning, we have a human rights lawyer, very apt person to have on the show this morning, in the person of Mr. Justice Uhuegbu. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning. It is my pleasure once more.
We expect that there's a lot to talk about this morning.
You must have been on your feet. Because not only on MITV, I've been monitoring other stations. I've not seen your regular feed.
Yeah, you're right. But I have, since I came back, I've actually also been
taking it easy.
I've been taking it easy and also appearing. But the only thing is that personally, I have some reservations. I've never been happy with what is happening in Nigeria because I'm sorry to say this, my people, Nigerians, many of us seems to be docile because everything that is happening in this country today, I saw them coming in 2015. And I said, there's nothing that is happening today in this country I did not say in 2015. But many people called me names. They said a whole lot of things. They politicized the whole thing. But I thank God I have been vindicated, somebody like me. In fact, I could remember one day that I said that I am like the Nostradamus of Nigeria. The man who saw tomorrow. Because I said this earlier before now.
What did you say specifically?
Can somebody...
Did you predict the removal, the dethronement and banishment of...
No, I did not, but I also predicted that all the people that were not sincere as at 2015 in order to demand the government will get their pound of flesh. And it is happening today. It's happening. It's a payback time. So they should not cry foul.
What, for instance, did former Emma do to warrant such a prediction?
Well, I wouldn't want to go there, but the truth is, but the truth, I am, but the truth is this. Though some people may want to disagree with me, but Sanusi was somehow compensated with the title of Emir of Kano because of the role he played against the former government. Remember, he was suspended from CBN for one reason or the other, and immediately they called him to become the emir. So
can you see something replay? Because now that he's been dethroned and banished, Kaduna State offered him.
Yeah, that is politics being played here. Remember that whenever you belong, you still have your fans, and you still have people that believes in you. But one thing we should understand is this: truth is bitter. Sanusi saw the truth. When he became the emir of Kano, he saw the truth and started saying the truth. And started trying to advise the authority, but they didn't listen. Rather, they took him as an enemy. That's why all these things played.
Now, would he have emerged as the governor, emir of Kano, if he was not from the lineage of the tradition?
That you're in the lineage does not mean you will emerge. There are some other people that are also in the lineage. In fact, stories had it then that this man now, this Adebayero, was even the person that was supposed to be. No, you see, history must always repeat itself. And as a student of history, we follow history. And that's why people like us are not happy that history has been stopped in our secondary schools for some time.
All right, so what was your reaction to his removal? It came on the 9th of March. To many Nigerians as a shock, as a rude shock. But how did you receive the news? Well,
there's nothing that will happen in this country now that will come to me as a shock. Yes. There's nothing that will happen now that will come to me as a shock. Because when you keep on doing the same thing the same way for a long time, are you expecting to get a better result? It's not possible. So it's not a shock to me. It's not a news to me. Why? Because I knew that Sanusi was going to have a problem with the authorities the moment he decided to stay on the path of the truth. Look at all his public outings.
No, at what point did he transit from telling lies, from not staying?
No,
hold on. Earlier you said the role he played prior to this administration, that's President Muhammadu Buhari, was not on the path of the truth.
No. Don't misquote me. No, sorry. Mr. Banji, don't misquote me. I never said was not on the path of the truth. I didn't use that word, no. I said that if you look at the antecedents and the role he played during the last administration, when he was suspended, they immediately gave him the emir of Kano.
And you said
And
you
as
were
at
going to get a pound of
and
flesh.
as at that time, history has it, or even news has it, that he was not even the person that was supposed to be there. So me, I saw it as a compensation for him. Now he has come out from there, work with these people, and discover that these people are not what it seems they are. And let me tell you, no matter how bad you are, a time will come when you will want to live above board and say, no, enough is what? Enough. I think that's what happened, and that what played in the life of
Yes, I know that during the 2019 election, he was actually not supporting the administration of Ganduje and even the presidency during that's last year's election. He was not supportive, and that was why after the election, Kano Emirate was divided into 5 because so do you think all this further happened because he did not react at that point? He did not have any outburst, so to speak.
No, you see,
it was like he wasn't really bothered that the emirate was
his
cut
kingdom
down. Yeah.
was being divided. You see, let me tell you one thing. I saw it coming, one. Secondly, like I said before, when he discovered certain things, he now started speaking out, because I think Sanusi is not the type that likes to keep quiet when things, despite
people described him as that kind of person.
He's not that type of
blunt.
person. Fortunately or unfortunately, he now got to power, and the authorities felt that they could also use him in order to cover certain things or to support certain things. It's not as if Sanusi was against the government, so to say, because I've watched his programs and his antecedents. But rather, he was always coming out to say, no, let us talk about good governance. His major focus has been about good governance, both in his state and in the country at large. So when he discovers certain things, he will speak against them. That no, these ones are not right. But when you have a government that wants you to support them in everything they do, whether good or bad, the moment you don't, you become their enemy. And that's why they went ahead to begin to divide his kingdom, and all. He kept quiet. What do you want him to do? Especially in the country. It's not even only in the north. In the east, where I'm coming from, it's even happening there. If you're not in the good record of a governor, the governor will divide your kingdom and even remove staff of office from you.
It happens in the east.
Yes, it happens in the east, and remove your staff. Okorocha did it when he was governor. So many Ezes, Royal Highnesses, he removed, and many of them he divided their kingdoms. But the problem there is that there is a problem. With this thing that has happened now, I think Nigerians should look inward and begin to ask ourselves, is it proper for governors to have a say or to have the power to control emirs, His Royal Highnesses, and Ezes, whom by tradition, law, by custom and tradition, their duty is for the custodian of the custom and tradition? Is the governor supposed to be the one who should make them kings, or their community? That is where we are getting it wrong. And with this now, Nigerians will begin to look at some of these things. Why would the governor be the person to decide who becomes an Eze, who becomes an emir, who becomes His Royal Highness in a traditional setting, in a kingdom? What you have is an executive power. You are an elected governor. But the people, every community have their customs and tradition. They are supposed to decide who become. In the olden days, was it like this? And the answer is no. And that explains why.
Where did all this begin to happen?
Yes, that
if in the olden days
minutes.
it wasn't like that, where did we begin to practice such
politics
things?
Came in. I think from 1999, politics came in. And some of these things were changed. And the Ezeks, the emirs, His Royal Highnesses, they started receiving salaries from the government. The government now saw them as a tool to be used. Now, in any state, every Eze, every emir, every highness, every chief must endorse a particular person for him to be a governor. Is it supposed to be so?
Now let's look at the case of former Emir Sanusi. As far back as 2017, lots of allegations were actually leveled against him. Now he was not supportive of government programs. Now one of the allegations was that he misinterpreted the Holy Quran and several other allegations. But it culminated that got to the peak on Monday, and he was actually deposed. But is it lawful that he was not given fair hearing? Looking at it from the legal point of view, shouldn't he have been invited by the House, by the government, to actually explain his own side of the matter?
In fact, all those things were allegations. Secondly, if you look at, I think, Section 13 of the Kano State Emirates Council Law that gave the governor the right to depose an emir, it provides that the governor or the chief executive will inquire through the council before you come up with a conclusion. What that means is that at least this person, if there is an allegation, he ought to be aware, summoned, and the emir council, the council of chiefs, have to convene and decide and take a decision. But here there was no such thing. The governor unilaterally on his own carried the function.
He said it was the decision of State Executive Council.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Look at Section 13 of the Kano State Emirates Chief Council, 2019, enacted by the state.
It's supposed to be the
Chief Council and not the Executive Council. And remember that even this Council of Chiefs, the emir is even the chairman of the Council of Chiefs. So could there have been such a meeting
without his
notice, without his knowledge, for him to defend himself? The constitution is simple.
But then again, a probe has just started against the former emir of maybe allegation of a fraud.
2.2 billion naira.
Now, is it not a case of the cart before the horse? Shouldn't the probe have actually taken place before his dethronement?
Whichever way they decide whichever way they decide to do it, no problem. You can probe somebody. In fact, remember that this issue of probe now did not form part of the reason why they dethroned him. Rather, the reason is that he does not attend government functions. He does not respect government authorities. Constituted authority. Then you now ask yourself, what is constituted authority there? He is a custodian of the tradition and customs of what he's representing, the Islamic, let me call it that way. So which authority, again, the constituency is representing, did they allege that he's not respecting them when he's even the chairman of the same council? So these people should understand that they are not dealing with stones, they are dealing with human beings. You may have your way now, but after now, will you continue? Ganduje or the governor should remember that in the next 3 years, we are talking about him leaving office. So somebody will take over. You that is probing somebody today, tomorrow it will be your turn for someone to probe you. That is why I love this nature. The simple thing there is that the only thing that is constant in life is what? Change. So one day, but what I'm trying to say is, when you don't have any good, reasonable thing to do or to say about somebody, don't start a fight you cannot finish.
Okay, let's look at traditional Emirate Council and the State Executive Council. Now, their roles, are they supposed to be complementary or antagonistic? Now, the governor is accused the former emir of not supporting government program, not attending state functions and all that. Should their roles have been shouldn't it have been a kind of complementary one, to the extent that maybe they both of them operated straight lines and they were not meeting at any point? You see, and naturally they are supposed to run on a parallel line. You see, that's why I said I love this thing that happened. Maybe it's going to be an eye-opener. It has been happening in the East. I'm from the East. I'm from Imo State. It has been happening in the East every time. But nobody has raised this as an issue. Why this one is like this? Because he's the person of Sanusi. And of course, you know the Northerners, they take things serious. So I just pray that I'll use this opportunity to look inward this thing.
is the governors supposed to have a veto power or powers over traditional rulers?
What does the Constitution say?
The Constitution only recognizes customary courts, a customary court of appeal, Sharia court of appeal, by implication recognizing those religious customs. Because when you talk about customary courts, customary this, it is all about customs and what? Tradition. The Constitution recognizes it. But the Constitution never said that you must do things that are repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience. Lord Akin provided that theory. That despite the fact that customs and traditions are recognized, but that any custom or tradition that is repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience must be abolished. That is a three-way test for any custom and tradition to succeed.
I listened to the Commissioner of Information, Kano State, particularly on the issue of punishment of the former emir, and he said it's a tradition.
Fine.
And it has repeated itself. Now, we know that history has just repeated itself. We have in history several cases of dethronement, banishment, and all that. You know the one of former Sultan, that's former Sultan of Sokoto, that was replaced with Mashido. We know the case of Emir of Gwandu, several cases, even Yoruba land in Midwest and all that. Now, in what way is this one different? Is it not being traditional? I mean, following the normal tradition.
Now,
this start with
you know, I said something, and I want you to look at it holistically. I talked about what to call repugnancy test. That test, that three-way test, is a Trinity test that suffices which tradition and customs that will fit in a society. The banishment of any person in the society, is it repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience? The answer is yes. It is repugnant. It is against the Constitution. The Constitution, Section 36, Fundamental Human Rights, provides that a citizen of Nigeria can live anywhere of your choice in the country. Nobody should compel you to go and live in a particular place. That is unlawful arrest. That is what it amounts to.
And keeping you in a place where you don't want to stay.
You don't want to. You don't have such right. The Constitution is supreme. Section 36, it's chapter 4 of the Constitution, provides that. From Section 36, go down. Provides fundamental human rights, which is key. In other words, let me tell you, that's why I said that you are doing the same thing the same way and getting the same result does not mean it's is right. A good thing. There is a saying in Igbo land, in Igbo tradition, let me try to see if I can say it in English, that when bad things, I don't know how to put it, that when evil, let me put it, when evil continues in a community, and people do not talk, it becomes a tradition. That is what we're seeing. When evil continues in a society or in a community, and people do not do anything about it, it becomes what? A tradition. And that is why we say injustice somewhere is a threat to justice everywhere. You see, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that ordinarily, why would a governor want all the chiefs, Royal Highnesses, emirs, Ezes to be under him? Because the state is funding them. In those days, we are state funding traditional rulers. The community provides what they eat. But because politics has taken over everything, and that is why we are getting all these things. And that sounds them right. The traditional rulers. That sounds them right. Because somebody who wants to go for a governorship, he will come to you, he said he wants your blessing. Yeah. And you know that this person cannot represent the people. But because of personal interest and selfish interest, you will now compel your people, call a meeting of your community, it must be this person.
Because you have said that these things have continued to happen over time, and then they have become, in quotes, tradition. Another issue I have is the issue of the governor being able to stretch his tentacles to another state. Talking about Nasarawa State here. You stay in Kano State and you banish someone to Nasarawa State, which is not under your jurisdiction. How does that play out, and how does it sound? Is it right? Is it correct?
In fact, why not we put it simpliciter that he was sent on exile?
Yeah, exile.
Let's not put it that way. But you remember that nobody has the right to send another on exile. But you can decide to send yourself on exile. Do you understand me? That's what we're trying to say.
And you know that he actually asked to be allowed to stay in Lagos. That's Emir Sanusi himself when they came to arrest him. And the security operatives answered that that was not the instruction they were given.
You see, I think our constitution also has to be looked into also. The enormous powers of the executive officers, like the governors in the state, the president is so... In fact, I think it's the highest all over the world.
In Nigeria?
Yes, the Nigerian one is the highest all over the world. And we exercise these powers and authority with a lot of impunity. Forgetting that despite the powers authority you have, it must be exercised judiciously for people to see that justice has been done. And knowing that is a tenured position, whether you like it or not. Like I said, he felt he has the power to banish. I believe Sanusi will not keep quiet.
Okay, Sanusi has not actually been keeping quiet, even from his days as the emir. He actually advocated for girl child education. He advocated that the Almajiri system must be discontinued, and it must actually be integrated into the main educational system. Several revolutionary ideas that came from him. Now, people saw that as a kind of opposition to the government. Should the traditional leadership, should they be sycophants?
No, it's not was Sanusi being sycophant there?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, that one I'm saying. Sanusi was just being realistic.
That's the perception towards him. Yeah, because
you are not psychophantic. Yeah. You cannot work with the government.
But it's true. You and I know that today.
Yeah. Those ideas he actually prepared and pushed for, were they things that were actually against the spirit of good governance and all that?
Yes, of course. You see, what is good governance in the first place? In the first place, you talk about our Almajiri. Remember, well, let me say it for people to hear. One of the crime they felt, or I saw, that the former administration of Jonathan committed was the Almajiri schools he built. It did not all go well for most of the northern leaders, because they make these people to believe that you were born poor and you will die poor. But you and I know that with good education, these people will learn and know that if I started here today, I can be there tomorrow. There are opportunities. So these people saw it that, okay, these people that are our slaves, you want to open their eyes. Remember, what is the meaning of Boko Haram? In simple language, what is the meaning? No to Western education. But the Boko Haram is using bombs. They are using gun. They are using cars. All those facilities you are using are also a product of Western education. So who is deceiving who? So you discover here that their leaders are deceiving themselves and deceiving their children and deceiving the future. I watched Sanusi in one of the footage say that, listen, they should make their children to go to school and learn and be able to compete with people from other regions. That the days
he said North accounts for 87% of the poverty.
Yeah, and apart from that you being from a particular region should not be a yardstick for you to gain a job somewhere or to be considered against another person in a battlefield. You should all go and compete. And that is what we are talking about today. If you come in the unitary schools and everything, you discover that the Northerners have their own different cut-off marks, different from the West. Should it be like that? Are we not all human beings? Are we not all born by the same woman? Don't we all have the opportunity to go to school? If you refuse to send your children to school, how does it concern any other region? In fact, this thing is going to bring up a lot of things. And I'm happy people are beginning to learn. I bet you so many emirs will even want to take a leave from here because nobody knows who will be his turn tomorrow. These powers must be cut down. So we must tell ourselves the truth.
All right, we'd like you to begin to send us your SMS. Please send us an SMS. Do not bother to call. Please, I'm begging. Just send an SMS and share your thoughts with us on this issue we are discussing. The number is there on the screen, and we'll read your message. Please include your name and location to this discussion. Please ensure it's on this discussion we are having here in the studio. Now, this case said the legal team for Mohammed Sanusi said they are proceeding to the court. What is their, what do you envisage as being the outcome of this case? How do you see it going?
No, I believe they will succeed. You see, the only problem I'm having in recent time is that, sorry to say this, it is my constituency, but one way or the other, some of the judiciary arm is likely has been compromised by the executive. No, that's why I said some of us. It's my constituency, but we have to tell ourselves the truth. Because when you look at the kind of change that is happening today, it baffles me. When we were entering this profession and when we were growing up, we were meant to understand that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man and all the rest. But today, things are turning around. And with much emphasis on this particular administration. Okay. I have to say this.
The presidency has actually come out to say what the governor did.
When a president told us in this country that he will prefer security to the rule of law, what then are we saying? You forgetting that if you have rule of law in operation, it will take care of everything. Including security.
Now the president has come out, the presidency has spoken and said what the governor did, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, was in line with the spirit of the law, that he has the right to actually depose. Now, again, the governor of Kaduna State, at his 60th birthday, this same Sanusi came out and spoke. Very, very fundamental issues were actually discussed by him on the Amajiri and order. This same governor of Kaduna has offered the deposed Emma a position in Kano Investment Board. Now, how do you interpret all this?
You see, the truth is this. I believe if you allow the people to say, for example, the people of Kano State, they will revolt against that incident, because we saw the footage when he was being laid out, the cheering from the people. You will discover that that man is a man of the people. His people loved him. But because of this same impunity we were talking about, when the executive, they have everything, they have the police, they have the army, they have everything. So what do? What will you do? You just have to give in and fight through another means. And the only means you can fight through is the law God. Secondly, what is even the business of the presidency? Is the presidency supposed to make a comment on this? Is it not an issue of the presidency supporting what the governor has said, have done, not seeing anything wrong in it? It is a state affair.
But if the presidency doesn't respond, the same people will say that he kept mute.
What do you want him to respond? Didn't he see what has been happening all this while between Ganduje and the district?
That the presidency did not intervene.
Before you, yes, he doesn't need to intervene.
No, earlier on.
So why is he not saying that what the governor did was right?
Of course, people may have run to the presidency.
No. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. If he said that he doesn't have the right or powers to intervene, yes, good and fine. I don't know whether you understand me. He can only advise personally. But it doesn't necessarily need to be on the public domain. But for the president to come out now and say and support the governor, what the governor have done is right. What if tomorrow now the matter goes to court and the court says no and indicted the governor and say what the governor did was wrong? So which means the president himself will be wrong. You see, you don't do certain things to please your personal emotions.
Your reaction to his appointment on the Kaduna State Investment Board?
Well, the truth is this: the Kaduna State or the governor of Kaduna State found him worthy. Remember, this is a man that was former CBN governor. So in the field of finance, he knows it all. In fact, I believe that the Kano State has really lost a lot from that man. If the Kano State were to have foresight, since this man became the emir, they would have tapped from the wealth of experience and the knowledge and wisdom he has. This man is knowledgeable. You understand me? There's no two ways about it. Let's give it to Sanusi. Sanusi is a sound person. Yeah. He has a lot of things to offer to the state. But now, if you're rejected by your people, there's some other people that sees your work will take you. That goes a long way to tell you what I said earlier, that you have the right to live in any part of the country of your choice. It is constitutional. And it is the same law, the same power that gave the Kaduna State governor the right and the powers to appoint him from another state to another state. Igbo men has been having appointment in Lagos State, true or false, because of the provision of the Constitution. So if the Constitution can provide that, why would you now banish somebody and insist that somebody will not be in a particular place against the provisions of the Constitution, which is the ground norm? What you are even acting upon, is an enabling status of the Kano State law, not the Constitution. Forgetting the fact, I don't know the kind of people that advise these people. They have Attorney General in the state, and I believe the governor will have his own personal lawyers and all the rest. Forgetting that any law that runs inconsistency with the provisions of the Constitution, to the extent of its inconsistency, is null and void.
All right, let's just take some of these messages that people are sending in. We have this one from Jalili Keshinro from Agbado, Ilu Ogun State of Nigeria. He says it's improper for governors to have power over the community kings. The power must be cut down properly. That's his opinion. Another person says, good morning, you brought the right person. That's acknowledging you, sir. All right,
Thank
and
you.
then another one says, Northerners are the problems of Nigeria. Before they realize what Sanusi is telling them, it will be too late for them. That's Shegun Odiai from Abule Egba. Another one says, Nigerian leaders are sitting on a time bomb since they are pushing Nigerians to war. Sanusi is the only northern traditional ruler that believes in justice, equity, and fairness. He's bold, courageous, and frank in speaking the truth. Let me take this last one. My name is Rita Ifanyi Anna from Ogun State. I don't know why Sanusi is looking for justice. What he did to Jonathan administration is what he's reaping. Well, that's her opinion. All right, so do you want to react to some of these?
You know, somehow I said something.
I'm sure you would endorse it.
No. See, let me tell you. God works in a miraculous way.
You already talked about karma.
Yeah, God works in a miraculous way. At times, you see, God can do certain things in order to bring you out for you to work for the benefit of the people. That you are here today does not mean you cannot be there tomorrow and be better. Do you understand me? So at the moment, at any point in time, you get somewhere and somebody can be misled. Even the court itself, most times, clients or litigants can mislead the court in coming to a conclusion. And that is why we always ask for review and judicial review and all the rights. So it happens. But what we're saying that where we are now, knowing the antecedents of this man, the few years he has been there, he has seen the truth. He said, no, I want to tread on the path of the truth. And I want to help my people come out from this. I was discussing with a man.
Those who are very close to the deposed emir would actually disagree with you on the fact that he became born again or discovered the truth when he became Emma. And that those things he said prior to his emergence as Emma were just to ensure that a former president was ousted. Those who are close to him would disagree with you.
If you remember, there was a time the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, wrote a letter to the National Assembly. People calling names and other people were saying a sort of things. I knew I went on so many platforms. I said, okay, no problem. Let's leave the messenger and take the message. We're talking about good news. You understand the thing? Yes, we're talking about the word of moving forward. Okay, let's leave the... Let me tell you one thing. God can use anybody. The question we should be asking ourselves...
Talking about that point you just made, do you believe in there's this analysis or there's this concussion by some people that all these things are part of the power play? Now, that the former Emma may be a part of the grand design to use him for greater office in the future. I wouldn't want to go there now because no. Forget about do I believe or do you know whether I will come out for presidency in 2023? I think that's that. I know that's the line you're going. You want me to say it because there have been speculation. No, there have been speculation that he wants to contest for 2023 presidency. What is bad in it? Do you share that belief? Do you share that?
I am not him, so I cannot speak for him. As I'm staying here, and it's only when I tell you that I want to run for presidency that you will know. So you cannot put it to me.
Will he even be able to contest with this pendulum hanging on his head?
What kind of pendulum?
Pendulum.
Of that what?
Of this
has he been found guilty of anything? The answer is no. A court of competent jurisdiction has not found him guilty of anything. As far as I'm concerned, this is politics play.
Good.
So he has the right till tomorrow. Now, you see, now they are now laying an allegation of misappropriation of funds and all the rest. No problem. Let them go to court and substantiate their case against him if they have any. So it is neither here nor there. Ganduje himself, I know that after now, he may also be nursing the ambition of going to Senate because that is the trend now. Yeah. Every governor that leaves wants to go to Senate as if this country is meant for all of them. I'm only sick and tired of our Nigerian people, especially the youths, who are still following these people sheepishly. When I was in nursery school, I keep on hearing that youths are the future leader. How old am I today? They told us education is the key. Today they have thrown away the padlock.
Let me provide an answer. Maybe because judiciary actually became part of the issue. They became polarized. Compromised, just as you said.
But will you agree with me, and I will stay here to say it categorically, that judiciary, whatever they became, was from 2015. It has never been this bad before. And why? When you have a government that believes in vendetta, that's the word you say. No wonder the Bible said that when the righteous is in power, the people rejoice. But when the wicked is in power, the people perish. Let's be realistic to ourselves. This is a time for every Nigerian to wake up and face reality and say the truth, the way it is. Because whether you like it or not, Ojukwu wrote a book because I'm involved. Directly or indirectly, what is happening in Nigeria today is affecting every person. Let me tell you, even if I live abroad today, even if I'm well to do today, I have people, I have relations, I have friends, I have people in the village that are going through pains every day. Even they themselves is affecting them. That road you refuse to build, the day you will be born, you will die, the same road will carry your corpse and your head will be knocking on inside those corpses. So you will also get a bite of it.
All right, thank you so much. We really have to leave now.
It's so pathetic
our time is up. We really need to go.
And annoying.
Okay, let me take one message. This one says, my name is Abdul Ghani Ujimo from Ojodu. The dethronement of Sanusi is a bad thing happening in Nigeria. Kano State has been deprived of a sound-minded leader. I am a supporter of Mr. President, but I am now getting tired of some of his lackadaisical attitude that's drawing the country back. So that's his opinion. Well, that's where we'll end the program today. We want to thank you, sir, for being a part of the program. And thank you for everyone who has sent in a message to be part of the program. And for all that's watched, we say thank you. We'll see you again on Monday. I am Jumoke Michaels.
I'm actually going away with the fact that you may come out 2023.
Yeah, hopefully. Just be hopeful.
My name is Banji Usari. Thanks for being part of the show. See you.
Thank you.